You work hard. The notification comes in, salary deposited, and for a moment, it feels good. But then, the reality hits. The rent, the car payment, the subscriptions, the groceries, the debt, the "I deserve this" treat, and before you've even blinked, that number in your account seems to evaporate. You're left wondering where it all went, feeling that familiar tightness in your chest, the anxiety that maybe, just maybe, you'll never get ahead. What if I told you the problem isn't how much you make? The problem is the first thing you do when you get paid. Most of us were never taught a system. We were taught to consume, to pay bills reactively, and hope there's something left. That ends today. In this video, we're going to uncover a single, biblical money principle that doesn't just tweak your budget, it completely changes the order of your financial life. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about getting wise quick. It's the ancient principle of first fruits. This is the foundation that Scripture has laid out for millennia, a principle of order, discipline, and trust that most of the world ignores because it seems counterintuitive. We've been conditioned to believe financial freedom comes from a bigger number hitting our account. But the Bible is clear. It starts with a better decision, a decision of the heart, made the moment you get paid. Let's break down the typical salary day cycle for most people. It goes like this: receive income, pay everyone else first. Your landlord, your bank, the credit card company, the grocery store, every streaming service. Then, you try to live your life. Finally, if there's anything left, you might give some away or save a little. We call this the leftovers principle. And when you operate on leftovers, you are sending a powerful, demoralizing message. You're telling yourself your future only gets the scraps. You're telling God He gets what's left over after your fear and your appetites have taken their share. This reactive cycle is why you feel stuck. It creates hidden leaks. Those $15 subscriptions you forgot, the extra takeout because you're tired, the impulse buys that feel justified. It fosters perpetual anxiety because you're always one bill away from shortage. You're on a hamster wheel, running faster but going nowhere, and the salary deposit is just a momentary pause before the wheel starts spinning again. The book of Proverbs gives us the divine interruption to this cycle. It says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops." This isn't just a nice, religious idea about giving. This is a revolutionary financial strategy. First fruits means the first and the best portion is set apart right at the start. It's not the leftovers, the bruised fruit, the last 10% when you're checking if you can afford it. It's the first. So the new, biblical order completely reverses the world's system. Step 1. Receive income. Step 2. Give first. This is the first fruits. Step 3. Save and invest second. You pay your future self. Step 4. You live faithfully and intentionally on everything that remains. When you make this shift, you accomplish 3 monumental things in your heart and your bank account. First, you establish spiritual order before economic order. You are acknowledging, in the most tangible way possible, that God is your source, not your employer. That paycheck is a provision, but the provider is God. This act of faith, done right at the start, breaks the power of money over your heart. It moves you from an owner, clinging to every dollar in fear, to a steward, a manager of what God has entrusted to you. This isn't about God needing your money. It's about you needing the act of giving first to break the spirit of greed and fear that keeps you in bondage. Second, you systematically eliminate the hidden leaks. When you take your first fruits and your savings off the top, you now know with crystal clarity exactly what you have to live on. That remaining number is your operational budget. You plan for it. You get intentional about it. You stop the unconscious, reactive spending that silently drains your account dry because you're now operating from a predetermined amount. You are proactive, not reactive. Third, and most profoundly, you begin to replace financial anxiety with godly peace. You've made the most important, faith-driven decision first. You've honored God. You've honored your future. Now, you can spend the remainder with confidence and without guilt. This is the peace that Paul talked about in Philippians, a peace that guards your heart and mind, that surpasses all understanding, even in the realm of your finances. Let's get practical. What does this actually look like on a real Tuesday when your direct deposit hits? This is your new, non-negotiable salary day ritual. Your first action is the most important, the first 10%. This is your tithe, your first fruits. For many, This goes directly to your local church, the spiritual community that feeds you and your family. For others, it might be intentional, consistent giving to a ministry or cause you are passionate about. The mechanism isn't the main point, the priority is. The key is doing it first, not later when you see how the month shakes out. First, I recommend automating it if you can. Make it so you don't have to make the emotional decision each month. This is your act of worship and priority, and it comes before anything else. Immediately following that, you move to step 2, the next 10 to 20%. This portion is for saving and growth. Before you pay a single bill to anyone else, you pay your future self. This money flows into 3 buckets, in this order. First, your emergency fund. If you don't have 3 to 6 months of essential expenses saved, this is where you build it. This is your peace of mind fund for when the car breaks down or the fridge dies. Second, long-term investments like a retirement account, a 401k or an IRA. This is how you build wealth slowly, faithfully, and without gambling. Third, future goals. Saving for a car in cash, a down payment on a home, or your child's education. This step is how you build a legacy. It's the antithesis of living paycheck to paycheck. Now, and only now, do you arrive at step 3, live on the remaining 70 to 80%. This is your money to manage for housing, utilities, food, transportation, and discretionary spending. And here's the miracle of this system. You will be shocked at how much more intentional, creative, and even peaceful you are with this portion. When the big, important priorities are already settled, the pressure is off. You will find ways to make this number work because you have clarity. You've already won the most important spiritual and financial battles of the month. You budget this amount with purpose. Every dollar here has a job, and you are its wise manager. Implementing this first fruit system forces one of the most crucial heart changes a person can undergo. You stop spending to impress people you don't like, with money you don't have, to buy things you don't need. Your money is no longer a tool for building your own ego or masking your insecurity. It now has a mission, a God-given purpose. You become a faithful steward, and that identity changes everything. Debt stops being a convenient tool and becomes a problem to be solved with diligence. Contentment, the quiet confidence that God has provided what you need, begins to replace the toxic cycle of comparison. Every spending decision becomes a values decision. Every dollar you manage becomes an act of worship, a small testament to where your true trust lies. This is the genuine path to financial freedom. It's not found in a bigger salary, but in a better, God-ordained system. It's not about getting more money into your hands, but about getting more biblical wisdom into your heart. This principle has stood the test of time because it works. It works on your spreadsheet, and it works on your soul. It aligns your finances with your faith, and in that alignment, you find a confidence and a peace that no market crash or economic downturn can ever take from you. You are no longer a slave to the deposit notification. You are a master of your mission, using money as a tool for God's kingdom and your family's future. The freedom you're looking for starts with that first step of faith, taken the very moment you get paid. If you're tired of the cycle, the anxiety, the leaks, the feeling of never getting ahead, I want you to try this. Not for a year, just for 90 days. Commit to the first fruits principle for the next 3 paychecks. Give first, save second, live on the rest. And watch what happens. Watch your heart change. Watch your priorities shift. Watch how God honors that step of faith and order. This is more than a budget. It's a blueprint for a faithful life. Your work has dignity. Your income has a purpose. Start honoring that purpose today. This is a call to action for your future self. The most important financial decision you'll make this year isn't an investment pick. It's the decision to reorder your life around a principle that has divine backing. Let's dive deeper into the mindset required to make this stick. The first fruits principle requires a fundamental shift from being a consumer to being a creator, or more accurately, a steward creator. You are no longer passively letting money flow through your life. You are actively directing it with purpose from the very first dollar. This is where you move from theory to transformation. The world tells you to act on your feelings. If you feel anxious, you shop for security. If you feel insignificant, you buy for status. The first fruits system says, your feelings don't get a vote on the first 20 to 30%. You obey the principle first, and your feelings will follow. Peace follows obedience. Confidence follows discipline. This is the core of replacing anxiety with peace. It's not a magic trick, it's a muscle you build. Each paycheck, you make the intentional choice to honor God and your future before you honor your present desires. You are literally training your heart to trust in the unseen, to trust in God's provision and in the future person you are becoming through disciplined saving. This is the spiritual order that must precede economic order. You cannot have financial peace with a chaotic, self-centered heart. The first fruits offering is the tangible, monthly act of aligning your heart. It's saying, God, you are first. My future security in you is second. My present needs are third. This order is non-negotiable for breakthrough. Now, let's tackle the most common objections head-on. Objection 1. I can't afford to give first. My budget is already too tight. I hear you, but this is the paradox of the kingdom. You can't afford not to. Operating on the leftovers principle guarantees you'll always feel like you can't afford it because you've already declared everything else more important. The First Fruits Act is the very key that unlocks creativity and clarity with the remaining 80%. It changes your relationship with money from scarcity to stewardship. You will find ways to make it work because you have to. You will cook at home more, cancel unused subscriptions, and drive your car a little longer. These aren't deprivations. They're the empowering choices of a person in control of their mission. Objection 2. But what about my debt? Shouldn't I pay that off first? This is critical. Your first fruits giving, the initial 10%, and your savings for a mini emergency fund, say, $1,000, come before aggressive debt repayment. Why? Because if you throw every extra dollar at debt without first building the habits of giving and saving, you will become discouraged, and the moment an unexpected expense hits, you'll go right back into debt with a credit card. The First Fruits system builds the habits and the financial resilience that make getting out of debt permanent. After your first fruits and your starter emergency fund, then you attack your debt with intensity using the remaining portion of your budget. Objection 3. Isn't tithing an Old Testament law? I'm under grace. Yes, we are under grace, which means we are free from the curse of the law, but we are also called to a higher standard of the heart. Jesus himself affirmed tithing in Matthew chapter 23, but he emphasized the weightier matters of justice, mercy, and faithfulness. The principle of first fruits predates the law of Moses. It's the principle of the garden. God gets the first and best because he is the source. Giving first is not a legalistic obligation. It is a joyful response of gratitude and a practical declaration of trust. It is grace in action, acknowledging that every good gift comes from above. Let's talk about the transformative power of this system on your marriage and family. Money is the number one cause of stress in relationships because it represents security, power, and dreams. When a couple adopts the first fruits principle together, it changes the conversation overnight. You are no longer arguing over scraps. You are sitting down as co-stewards, united under a higher purpose. You are saying, before we talk about our wants, we have already taken care of our spiritual health and our future security. Now, let's plan our month together from a place of unity and purpose. This brings incredible peace into a home. It teaches your children a powerful lesson not through lectures, but through observation. They see you writing the giving check first. They hear you talking about our emergency fund, saving for a car repair. They learn that money is a tool for responsible living and generosity, not an object of endless craving. You are breaking generational cycles of financial anxiety and modeling faithful stewardship. This is one of the greatest legacies you can leave. The principle also applies powerfully to entrepreneurs and variable income earners. The system is the same, but the application requires more discipline. When a lump sum comes in, the very first transfer you make is your first fruits percentage based on that check. Then, you pay yourself a consistent salary from the remaining funds into your personal account, and from that salary, you follow the same steps. Save, then live on the rest. The business account handles business expenses. This separation and prioritization prevent the feast or famine stress that destroys so many small business owners. It builds sustainability and faith into the very heart of your venture. This journey will test you. There will be months where an unexpected bill makes that 10% giving feel painful. That is the moment of true worship. That is when you say, God, I trust you more than I trust this money. There will be months where you want to dip into your savings for want. That is the moment you reaffirm your commitment to your future self and your family's security. Each decision fortifies your character. This is about so much more than money. It's about becoming the kind of person God can trust with more resources, more influence, more peace. So, start today. Don't wait for the next pay cycle. Sit down with your last pay stub. Calculate 10%. If you haven't been giving first, make that transfer right now as an act of consecration. Then, calculate what 10 to 20% for savings would be and open a separate account if you need to. Then, look at what's left. Craft a zero-based budget for that amount. Tell every dollar where to go. You are taking authority. You are establishing order. You are stepping off the hamster wheel and onto the path of purposeful provision. This is your declaration of financial independence, not from work, but from worry. Not from culture, but from compulsion. You are aligning your economics with your eternity. And in that alignment, you will find a freedom you never thought possible. A freedom that allows you to work with joy, give with generosity, save with confidence, and spend with peace. This is the abundant life, not in the amount you possess, but in the purpose with which you manage it. Let this be the day your financial life changed forever.